Hello all, and welcome to Behind the Seams with your narrator Jay from Infield Media. If you're new here, it's a pleasure to meet you, and if you're returning, it's great to see you again. Behind the Seams is an opportunity to bring former players and their stories to the present day and allow a new audience to enjoy them. In this episode, I'll be deep diving into a player who I happen to have quite a connection to, and a player who gave his life to protect the country that he loves so much. Ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to introduce you to Harry O'Neal. Before we jump into it, if you enjoy these stories and would like to see more, please make sure to like and subscribe. If you have a player who you'd like to see get their story told, please make sure to comment who, and they may just show up in the future. So one more thing, I know it's been a while since I've done one of these, and I do apologize. Unfortunately, I've just had some things come up that I had to take care of first and foremost, but I truly appreciate the people that continue to watch the Behind the Seams. Whether you're new here, whether you're just going back and just watching the content again, it truly does mean a lot. And in times where I thought about, whether it's worth continuing, you guys keep watching the videos, and I would feel terrible if I just left you guys wanting more and just not doing them. So thank you all. I'm hoping that in the coming weeks, maybe a month, these will become more frequent again. I know that I originally planned to knock out like 2 a month. It's been a while since we've had one, but I do have a couple that I'm starting to write. I'm hoping that I can get that energy back and just start hammering these things out. But once again, thank you guys so very much for sticking around. And, if you're looking for more content from us, you can go check out the podcast, which is Drunks on the Pond. It's on the same channel where me and my friend Rich talk about everything going on in baseball. Or if you're just looking for a quick story, then I'm so glad that you picked Behind the Seams. Regardless, let's jump into the story of Harry O'Neal. Harry O'Neal was born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, May 8th, 1917. His father, Alexander O'Neal, worked in the chemical industry, and his mother, Susanna Cassidy, was a homemaker. He had just one sibling named William. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to find much on his childhood, so we'll just have to jump into his days as a high schooler. God, they grow up so fast. Now, here's where it starts to get a little weird. Harry O'Neal attended Darby High School, let's say around 1933, which would make him 16. 76 years later, a guy named Jay would attend Upper Darby High School in 2009. You heard it correctly, both Harry and I attended the same exact high school. Pretty cool, man. Harry was a standout athlete at Darby, playing baseball, basketball, football, and later he switched schools and went to Malvern Prep. Before you ask, I did not do that. Malvern Prep was a lot of money, and I was not a 3-sport athlete, let alone an athlete. After graduation, he attended Gettysburg College in Pennsylvania. He continued to play all 3 sports, and he helped the basketball team win titles in 1937 and 1938 as a center. In 1938, he even helped the baseball team led by manager Ira Plank, who was the brother of former major leaguer Eddie Plank. Don't know if you know him. But they captured the Eastern Pennsylvania Intercollegiate title as they defeated Penn State. Pretty big school nowadays. He would drive in the go-ahead run in the 9th inning to give Gettysburg the 5-4 win. After graduation in 1939, it was no surprise that Harry was a very sought-after athlete, and there were rumors that he would sign with the Washington Senators. Surprisingly, he would sign with the Philadelphia Athletics, led by manager Connie Mack, immediately after graduating for $200 a month. Compared to some players, it's not that bad, but, you could definitely make more money. Mack would list him as a 3rd-string catcher, and he would mainly work in the bullpen. You can see why he didn't make that much money. O'Neal would make his major league debut on July 23rd of 1939 as the Athletics were getting blown out by the Tigers, and the Athletics manager decided to rest his starter for the rest of the day, and he sent O'Neal in the 7th inning. Unfortunately for our protagonist, he wasn't able to get an at-bat in the game, but he did catch a couple innings, which I guess wasn't too bad, except for one major thing. Connie Mack would never use Harry O'Neal in another major league game. He made a couple exhibition appearances, but unfortunately that was it. The Athletics released Harry in September of 1939. Quite the career, right? Though, this is not where our story ends. After being released, he joined the faculty at Upper Darby Junior High School as a history teacher and coaching the 3 sports that he loved. Now, his love for sports didn't exactly fade. He still played semi-professional basketball in the winter of 1939-1940, and he returned as a manager the next season. He also played football for Clifton Heights, which is funny because I know a lot of people, including my own brother, who played football for Clifton Heights. He even made an appearance for the Delco All-Stars in October of that year. To jump back a little bit, O'Neal did return to baseball in the summer of 1940 after school let out to sign with the Allentown Wings of the Class B Interstate League. I wasn't able to find any stats for his time during in Allentown, but he was released to the Harrisburg Senators where he did have his stats recorded. He played in 16 games, he had 42 at-bats, 10 hits including 1 double and 1 home run. Harrisburg would then go on to release him at the end of the season. Now, to take a quick moment, this isn't atypical behind the scenes as there is a massive lack of baseball, which is fair, but sometimes the biggest heroes aren't made on the baseball field, but by their actions off the field, as you're about to find out. Let's continue on. September of 1942, and Harry O'Neal made the decision to join the United States Marine Corps and attend school in Quantico, Virginia. He graduated as a 2nd lieutenant. He was assigned to the newly formed Marine 4th Division and went to Pendleton, California for training. Before being shipped out in 1944, he was promoted to 1st lieutenant, and he would fight in Saipan, Tinian, and Kwajalein. I think that's it. Either way, a writer for the Philadelphia Inquirer named Frank Fitzpatrick wrote that Harry was wounded in Saipan as he was hit by shrapnel. He was treated at a naval hospital in San Francisco, and he later returned to action in October. February of 1945, and Harry was on his way to one of the deadliest battles in all of World War II, the Battle of Iwo Jima. His job was to help secure the island he used as a base for bomber planes. The island was riddled with Japanese defenses such as pillboxes, trenches, and just mortar sites. On February 16th, the United States decided to bombard the island to lower defenses, but unfortunately it was to minimal effect. By the end of the first day, 30,000 Marines landed on the island. On February 23rd, the Marines would reach the top of Mount Suribachi. March 6th, 1945 was D-Day plus 15, and the Marines finally got support from the Air Force and their P-51 Mustang fighters. With the Japanese defenses tight, it was a slow crawl to attain more ground. The 5th Marines attacked the Japanese defenses from the west, and the 4th attacked from the east. At day's end, they had gained about 200 yards. But unfortunately, the news was not all good news. 1st Lieutenant Harry O'Neal was killed in action when he was hit by sniper fire. The Marines would get ready to leave Iwo Jima just a week and a half later. Even though he passed on March 6th, it would be an entire month before the O'Neal family and his wife Ethel would hear the news about his passing. O'Neal was originally buried at Iwo Jima Cemetery, but his remains would be returned back to the United States in July of 1947. He was buried at Arlington Cemetery in Drexel Hill, Pennsylvania. It's a cemetery where I had learned to drive, and it's a place where my friends and I would go to skip classes, and looking back, it's crazy to think that I might have just walked right past them and just never knew it. After his passing, and at the end of the war, other players would return home and try to find the sense of normalcy again. Hundreds of ball players were a part of the war effort, with many doing moral work, training, and playing baseball for the Army and Navy teams. Writer Simon Cupper of the Financial Times had written, "The reason Elmer Gettys and Harry O'Neal were killed is that they were barely major leaguers at all. Gettys' big league career had spanned 1 week in 1939 while O'Neill's lasted just a game in which he didn't bat. These men ended up in combat because nobody wanted to watch them play Army ball. Only after their deaths did baseball claim them. In 1980, Harry was inducted into the Hall of Athletic Honor at Gettysburg College. Thank you so very much for tuning into this episode of Behind the Scenes on Harry O'Neill, a player who may have had only one appearance in a game, but made a sacrifice bigger than baseball, and that deserves an enormous amount of respect. Long may O'Neill's and Gideon's sacrifice be remembered. Thank you to Baseball Reference, Society for American Baseball Research, for the information that was used in this video. My name is Jay, and I will see you guys in the next one. Cheers.